There is an extra VA check you might qualify for that the VA may never tell you about. If you're already rated, whether it's 70, 80, 90, or even 100%, you might be leaving money on the table every single month. Not because you don't qualify, but because nobody told you to ask about it. It is called Special Monthly Compensation, SMC for short. And according to VA data, there are thousands of veterans who meet the criteria for SMC right now and have never claimed it. We're talking about an extra $100 to potentially $4,000 plus per month on top of your regular disability compensation. The VA doesn't send you a letter saying, hey, you qualify for additional money. They don't automatically add it to your check. You have to specifically ask for it by name, and most veterans don't even know it exists. Some veterans are missing out on hundreds of dollars per month. Over a lifetime, that's tens of thousands of dollars, sometimes hundreds of thousands of dollars that veterans earned and then just never received. But today I'm going to break down exactly what special monthly compensation is, the categories most veterans don't know they qualify for, and how to claim it so you stop leaving your money on the table. I am Dr. Marshall Barr, an actual doctor, an Army Ranger, and a former CMP examiner. And I have seen too many veterans miss this benefit because the VA didn't tell them it existed. So let's fix that. But first, let me explain exactly what special monthly compensation is, because the name alone confuses a ton of people. SMC is a separate, additional payment for veterans with specific, serious service-connected situations. It sits on top of your regular disability compensation. It does not replace anything. It is just extra. Think of it like this. Your disability rating, whether that's 70, 80, or 100%, that's one layer. SMC is the second layer that gets added on top if you qualify. Now, SMC comes in different levels designated by letters. So SMCK, L, S, R, and it keeps going on and on. Each letter has different criteria and different payment amounts. So SMCK, which is the most common one, that's about $131 extra per month. SMCS, which is housebound status, adds an additional $400 per month. SMCL, which is aid and attendance, adds about $1,000 extra per month. And then higher levels like SMCR, SMCT can add $2,000 to $4,000 plus dollars per month. But here's the thing that most veterans do not understand. The VA does not typically automatically evaluate you for SMC. You typically have to specifically claim it. If you don't ask, you don't get it. It's like going to a restaurant that has a secret menu, right? Like Starbucks, right? The items are there, they're listed, they'll serve them to you, but you have to know to ask. If you just order off the regular menu, you'll never know what you're missing. So SMC is the VA's version of a secret menu. And today I'm going to show you what is all on it. So let's start with SMCK, which is the most common category and the one veterans miss the most often. So SMCK is for loss of use of a creative organ or loss of use of a hand, foot, or eye or ear. Now, here's what a lot of veterans get wrong. Loss of use does not mean an amputation. Meaning you don't have to be missing a hand to qualify. You don't have to be missing a foot to qualify. Loss of use just means the body part cannot perform its function effectively anymore, even if it's still attached to your body. So let's use an example. Let's say you have severe carpal tunnel or nerve damage from a service-connected condition, right? And it makes your hand essentially non-functional. You can't grip, you can't write, you can't button your shirt anymore. That is considered loss of use, even though your hand is technically still attached to your body. So here's another example. Let's say you have peripheral neuropathy or a severe foot drop that prevents you from walking without an assistive device, right? That could be considered loss of use, even though your foot is still attached to your leg. And example number 3, and this is a really, really big one, and this is the one that a lot of people don't talk about. SMCK covers loss of use of a creative organ. That means reproductive function. So if you have erectile dysfunction or female arousal sexual disorder caused by a service-connected condition or by medications that you use for a service-connected condition, that's loss of use of a creative organ. That qualifies you for SMCK. We're talking about SSRIs, SNRIs for PTSD or depression or anxiety, blood pressure medications for high blood pressure, pain medications for chronic conditions, anti-anxiety medications. If you're taking any of these medications for a service-connected condition, and you're experiencing either erectile dysfunction or female arousal sexual disorder, you likely qualify for SMCK. And remember, that is an extra $131 per month on top of your other VA disability compensation. So over 30 years, SMCK alone can add up to about $50,000. But most veterans never claim it because they are embarrassed or because nobody told them medication side effects count. But don't leave the money on the table because you didn't know this. Now you do. Now, if you're already rated and you've never heard of SMC, I want you to hit subscribe right now because I'm about to show you categories that could be worth thousands per month. Now, let me show you the higher levels of SMC. So SMCS, let's talk about that now because this is the rating for a housebound status, and it's worth significantly more than SMCK. So SMCS adds approximately $400 extra per month on top of your regular compensation. So that's nearly $5,000 more per year. Over 20 years, that's about $100,000. You can qualify for SMCS in one of two ways. So method one is what we call statutory housebound status. This applies if you have one service-connected disability rated at 100% by itself and additional service-connected disabilities that independently combine to 60% or more. So let's say you have PTSD rated at 100%, and you also have a back condition at 40% and a knee condition at 20%. Those additional conditions combine to more than 60%. So here's the thing. You might qualify for SMCS without ever being housebound in the way you'd think.
The name is very misleading. You don't have to be confined to your home. You just have to meet the rating criteria.
Now, the second method is factual housebound. Now, this is going to apply if your service-connected conditions actually confine you to your home or immediate premises. You physically can't leave the house, or leaving would be extremely dangerous or impractical for you. So here's an example. Maybe your combination of PTSD, chronic pain, and mobility issues means you rarely leave your house. Maybe leaving triggers severe anxiety or puts you at risk of falls or medical emergencies. Either method one or method two, can qualify you for SMCS housebound status. The statutory method is based purely on ratings alone. And the second method, the factual method, is based on your actual situation. But here's the problem. Most veterans at 100% with additional conditions don't know how to check if they qualify for SMCS. They just assume their 100% is all they can get. Now, let's talk about aid and attendance, which is SMCL status. This is where the compensation starts to get serious. SMCL adds approximately $1,000 or more per month on top of your other compensation. So over a lifetime, we're talking about hundreds of thousands of dollars. And if you qualify for SMCL and you need regular aid and attendance of another person due to your service-connected conditions, you qualify. Now, what does aid and attendance means? It just means you need help with basic activities of daily living. So you need someone to help you maybe shower or bathe safely. You need someone to help get you dressed. You might need assistance going to the bathroom or doing bathroom activities. You may need someone to ensure you take medications correctly. You may need help preparing food or feeding yourself. You may need help getting around your home safely. Now, here is something that we have to address, a misconception. You don't have to need help with all of the things I just mentioned. If your service-connected conditions require regular assistance with even some of the activities I talked about, you may qualify. So let's use an example. Let's say you have a combination of a TBI, PTSD, and chronic pain. It means your spouse has to help manage your medications because you forget to take them. They have to help you get dressed on your bad days. They have to make sure you eat because you'll forget or don't have the energy to. That, my friends, is aid and attendance. And if that help is necessary because of one of you or several of your service-connected conditions, you qualify for SMCL. Now, many spouses and family members are already providing this level of care. They just don't know it's compensatable. They're doing it out of the love of their veteran. But the VA will pay it if you claim it. Now, here's what most veterans don't realize as well. You can stack multiple SMC payments on top of each other. So if you qualify for more than one category of SMC, you can receive multiple payments simultaneously. They are not mutually exclusive. So let's say you have SMCK for loss of use of a creative organ, say erectile dysfunction from medications. That's about $131 extra per month. And then you get SMCS for statutory housebound. You've got 100% single rating for one condition plus 60% combined for others. That's an additional $400 per month extra. That's over $500 per month in additional compensation on top of your regular 100% rating. Here's another example. Let's say you have SMCK for loss of use at $131 per month for, say, erectile dysfunction, and you have SMCL for aid and attendance, which is about $1,000 or more per month. Now you're looking at over $1,100 per month in additional compensation. I mean, over 20 years, stacking SMCK and SMCS could be worth over $125,000. Over 20 years stacking SMCK and SMCL could be worth over $207,000.
Are you looking for the most affordable way to add electric cooling and heating to your older home? If that's the case, then you're going to want to take a look.
$70,000. Now, this is not bonus money. This isn't some weird gift. This is compensation for specific documented losses and needs caused by your military service. But the VA doesn't stack these automatically for you. I wish they would, but you actually have to claim each category separately. And if you don't know they exist, you typically are not going to claim them. So I want to tell you about a veteran I worked with called Thompson. Thompson was rated 100% P&T for his PTSD. He'd been at that rating for almost 8 years, and he figured that was it. He was maxed out, nothing more he could claim. He was already at permanent and total. But Thompson also had, erectile dysfunction from the antidepressant he was taking for his PTSD. He had a back condition rated at 30%, a knee condition rated at 20%, and sleep apnea rated at 50%. Thompson just mentioned casually to me that his wife had to remind him to take his medications every day, that she helped him get dressed on bad days, that he rarely left the house because of his PTSD. So I looked at his situation and quickly realized that he qualified for SMCK for ED, erectile dysfunction secondary to his PTSD medications, SMCS for statutory housebound status because he had 100% PTSD plus additional ratings over 60%. That qualified him for SMCS. And potentially he was qualified for SMCL for aid and attendance because his wife was already providing regular care. Thompson filed for SMCK and SMCS, and both were granted. His monthly compensation increased by over $530 per month. That is roughly $6,300 per year. Over the next 20 years, that's more than $127,000 in additional compensation. Thompson had been eligible for 8 years. He just didn't know to ask. So how many of you are Thompson right now? And here's what I want to talk about. How do you actually claim this? Well, for special monthly compensation, there are several steps. So I'm going to walk you through each one. So step one is you need to identify which SMC categories you might qualify for. So ask yourself, do I have erectile dysfunction or female arousal sexual disorder caused by medications or service-connected conditions? That would be SMCK. Do I have a condition that's rendered a hand, a foot, an eye, or an ear non-functional? That would be SMCK. Do I have one condition rated at 100% plus additional conditions that stack up to 60%? That would be SMCS. Do my conditions keep me confined to my home? That would be SMCS qualification. Do I need regular help with daily activities like bathing, dressing, or medication management? That would qualify you for SMCL. I mean, if you answered yes to any of these, you may have a valid SMC claim. Step 2 is claim the SMC by name. This is critical. Don't just file a general claim and then hope the VA figures it out for you, because they typically won't. On your claim, you need to specifically write, I'm claiming special monthly compensation under whatever it is, K, S, L, for this specific reason. So here's an example of language you could use. I am claiming SMCK for loss of use of a creative organ due to erectile dysfunction secondary to my sertraline prescribed to me for my service-connected PTSD. Or you could say, I'm claiming SMCS housebound status based on my 100% rating for PTSD, plus additional service-connected disabilities that independently rate 60% or higher. Or hell, you could do I'm claiming SMCL aid and attendance because my service-connected conditions require regular assistance from another person for daily living activities. Here's the point. You need to be explicit. Name the category, name the reason. Don't make the VA guess. And then step 3, document the need. So for SMCK, get medical records showing the condition or side effect. For SMCS, your rating decision needs to show the qualifying ratings. For SMCL, a statement describing the help you need and who provides it. And now here's an important tip for all of you. Think about lay statements from spouses or your caregiver describing the daily assistance they provide, because those are powerful pieces of evidence for aid and attendance claims. And then step 4, get help if you need it. So use a veteran service officer, a VSO, like the VFW, the DAV, the American Legion, because they can help you file for SMC. They are free, they are accredited, and they know what questions to ask. Or if you want help building the medical evidence, like say Nexus letters, medical documentation, that's what we do at Xterra Health every day. Now, if you think you qualify for SMC and you want help building the medical documentation, that's exactly what I do and we do every day at Xterra Health. We offer Nexus letters where we will write medical opinions documenting the connection between your medication and the side effects, or explaining why your conditions require aid and attendance. We also offer claims roadmap services where we review your current ratings and identify which SMC categories you may qualify for. Then we help you build the evidence to claim them. We also offer a C&P exam prep. If you're filing for, say, SMCL, the exam will ask about your daily living activities. We can prepare you to describe your needs accurately to how they actually impact you. Now, here's the thing. The VA won't tell you about SMC, but we will, and we will help you claim it. Free consultation if you need a Nexus letter. Everything else, if you're interested in it, the link is in the description below for the services. Now, look, the VA disability system is complicated. It's designed with good intentions, but the information isn't always handed out to you. Special monthly compensation does exist. It is additional money on top of your regular rating, and thousands of veterans qualify for it right now without knowing about it. Remember the categories: SMCK for loss of use of a creative organ like erectile dysfunction or female arousal sexual disorder, SMCS for housebound status, including the rating-based statutory method, SMCL for aid and attendance for those who need help with daily living. So check if you qualify, claim it by name, and don't leave your money on the table. The VA has the money. They'll give it to you, but they won't chase you down to offer it. You have to ask for it. Now you know what to ask for. Now, speaking of claims that veterans mess up quite frequently, PTSD is one of the most commonly claimed conditions at the VA. It's also one of the most commonly denied. And most of those denials, Wow, they're usually for preventable mistakes. Mistakes that could have been avoided if the veteran knew what the VA was actually looking for. So watch my next video on the top 5 PTSD VA.
Hi. Thanks for watching. You can watch our broadcast simultaneously on Facebook and YouTube.